JBN keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, man dies at Sangster. Airport operator contradicts Eyewitness's account. Please remember to subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items. 71-year-old Leroy Smith was returning to the United States on Wednesday after visiting his family when he collapsed at the baggage counter at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James, and later died. A female passenger who said she witnessed the event accused the management of the airport of failing to render the required medical attention to the distressed passenger and believes this led to his death.
The man stayed right there on the floor and died. The man died on the floor. He died. My God. Hi everyone. This is not something that I normally do. As a matter of fact, I've never done it before. But I believe that there is a need to do this today. I'm doing this. I'm live at this Sangster International Airport on my way back home to America, taking flight JetBlue. So we arrived at the airport just about 11 o'clock there. A gentleman was behind me, one of the agents, speaking to another man. But I didn't pay them much attention, but I know they were talking. And then I just heard like somebody fell. I looked behind me. It was the passenger, an elderly man that fell. Blood was coming, I think, from his nose. And the agent who he was talking to, who had just stepped off for a little, just turned his back, turned around, and took up his head and tried to clear his passengers. And I was saying, somebody call 911 or 119, whatever the case is. And I was saying to him, give him CPR. But he said to me, he's breathing. He's breathing, and for truth, he was breathing and doing a little bit of shuffling, slight shuffling. So when I saw a lot of blood coming from his head, I couldn't see the wound, but the blood was on the floor on his head. So I went into his bag. I saw his passport. His passport was on the ground beside him. So I took it up, put it in his bag. I looked at his bag and I saw his name, the name tag on the bag. So I could say what his name was. And then I was saying to the gentleman, we were there conversing, and I said, somebody call help. So in the meantime, I guess somebody was making a call. Somebody did say that they called whatever. I think they said operations or something. Right? And while they were there, nobody, and it took about between 20 minutes and half an hour for a lone nurse to come by. Right? And while the man was there, while the young guy was there with him, trying to keep his head up and all of that, I went into his bag and I saw a roll of tissue. And I gave him the roll of tissue, the entire roll, and tell him to press it on the wound. Try to press it on the wound on the head. Anyways, the nurse finally came and she said she was checking his oxygen, in the meantime, I took out his phone. I got his phone and was searching his phone to see if I could find a number, a recent number. And we were making calls using our phone. And because we couldn't place any calls on his phone. And then the JetBlue lady came and she took his phone and she went on the phone. Myself and her, we were going through what to find a number that we think we could call. So she called the number. While she was calling the number, another gentleman who came, I don't know who he represents, but he's with the airport. He's with the airport. He had on one of those vests. And he was saying, tell the, because we got through to the person on the phone. And the lady was telling him that, the customer, I won't say his name, the passenger, he collapsed, and he's at the airport. So she said she was trying to get somebody, He was there now telling us to tell him, or telling the JetBlue lady to tell the person on the phone that the single ambulance that is at Cornwall Regional is not available. And for them to call a private ambulance, the person on the phone has to approve the payment of $400. They have to confirm that it's okay for them to call the ambulance and noting the payment of $400. So I said, we have to wait for them to do that to get help for the man. The man need help. The man, I saw the man gap. I never see somebody gap, or what they call it, catch breath, in my entire life. First time I'm seeing that, right? And the man was gapping, right? And the man was saying, so I said, why you need to tell them that? Why you need to get $400 or to confirm that then we pay $400 before you call that? You understand? So that is stupid. So the nurse was saying, if they can't get the ambulance, then they'll get the taxi. Miss, get the taxi. I'll pay the money for him. I'll pay the taxi fee. Get the taxi. You understand? So they tried to let me know that it's protocol, and they have to get approval from the family member to call the ambulance, to call the private ambulance, which will cost $400. The man at the airport, waiting and ready to go back to America, taking JetBlue, right? And he would have paid his fare to go on the flight. So I'm saying, could not JetBlue or even the airport take that cost? They have to depend, or they have to wait until a family member says that it's okay to go ahead and call the ambulance. Mark, the man came to the airport, whoever got him there left him, an elderly man. Understand? And I'm saying, come on, man, that is how we do things here. Because people are going to talk about you have to get approval to call an ambulance. Look how many people travel in the airport daily. Hundreds of thousands of people travel through the airport daily. And we don't have nothing in place for things like this. We don't have nothing in place for things like this. It just made me wonder if it was a white person, if it would have been the same treatment. I'm thinking this could happen to anybody. It could happen to me. It could happen to anybody at all, right? You know, just stay there and die. It takes so long to make a decision when people's life is dependent on it. We have to do better. Jamaica, JetBlue, I'm calling you out on this one because you should have been there for the man. You shouldn't be asking that question. He was your passenger, and him at the airport, and he was talking to an agent, right? Getting whatever information he needed to get on the plane to check in, and he collapsed right there. All of that come talk about. We have to get approval from the family to call an ambulance to pay $400 first. Or to find out how, if they're gonna pay $400 before. Man, this is one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my entire worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. You know, I'm calling out whoever is in charge of stuff like these, man. They need to do better. There should be an area in the airport to reach people. One ambulance, the Cornwall Regional Hospital, one ambulance, and because it is not available, a private ambulance has to be called, and before it is called, there has to be confirmation, right? Or whatever that, the $400, it's okay to call them, we will pay the $400. Oh, Jesus.
MBJ Airports, the operator of Sangster International Airport, said it immediately operated its emergency response protocols once it became aware of the passenger in medical distress. In a media release on Friday, MBJ Airport said on-site medical personnel arrived within minutes to provide care to the ailing passenger, and an ambulance was called to the scene. It said throughout the incident, airport staff worked diligently to coordinate with external emergency services while ensuring the privacy and the dignity of those involved. According to MBJ Airports, Sangster International maintains a dedicated private healthcare provider which ensures certified medical practitioners are on site to provide rapid response to medical emergencies. It says the provider also supplies ambulance services to the airport. The airport has expressed condolences to the family and the loved ones of Mr. Smith adding that it is offering support to airport staff and others affected by the incident. Meanwhile, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz has ordered an immediate investigation into the circumstances that led to the death of Mr. Smith. I have seen and heard the video and the report that was made that has gone viral. I've also seen and heard other messages from other passengers that were around. So the MBJ Airport has a contractual arrangement with Hospital in relation to providing medical services, which include ambulances. My understanding when I ask is that they have access to up to 7 ambulances, and the proximity from Hospital to Montego Bay Airport is not that far, he sought to explain. Vaz said he did not want to prejudge and is awaiting further information on the timelines in relation to the incident. I have gotten a preliminary report and I've seen the viral video, but I've requested specific information, which will guide me in relation to the times and whether those times of response were acceptable, he said. JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.